Hey guys, what is up? It is Karen, aka Caked by Baby K, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a very exciting video that I've wanted to do for such a long time. We are going to do a tutorial on how I do my makeup to go to theme parks. Mainly Disneyland, because that's where I'm going today. I'm gonna teach you guys the tips and tricks I use to have my makeup last all day, as well as have some sun protection and just to keep the skin, you know, protected. So my face is already hydrated and moisturized. I've done all my skincare for the morning, and I'm going to go in with the Neutrogena Hydra Boost Water Gel Lotion. I've actually never used this, to be honest. I've heard really amazing things about it. We're just gonna put a little bit on the back of the hand. This is SPF 50, so of course you should be wearing SPF every day. Doesn't smell, it smells a little bit sunscreeny actually. I'm gonna do a patch test right here. Of course you should be wearing sunscreen every day, but especially for long days at theme parks and whatnot, you're gonna want your skin to be extra protected. It does smell a little bit sunscreeny, but not nearly as much as the traditional ones. And it has a very nice texture. It's not greasy at all. It actually just feels like a moisturizer, which is nice. So we're gonna do a lot of the forehead because the forehead gets the most sun. And I usually don't wear hats when I go to Disney because if I'm wearing makeup, I don't like my hat to be rubbing all up on the makeup and take it off. We're also gonna do the nose because that also gets a lot of sun. Oh, that's weird. It's actually pilling. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's pilling with my other skincare products, I think. That's not ideal, so I guess you guys are getting my first impression on this sunscreen as well. I think if I didn't do my skincare before this, it would have been fine, but it's okay. We're just gonna keep on rolling. Just something to keep in mind if you're thinking about buying this. Now I'm gonna go in with some Evian facial spray. You guys know I love this, just to keep the face hydrated and refreshed before doing makeup. Ooh, that is a lot. We're just going to put this into the skin with the sponge to speed up the process a little bit. Now we're going to go into our foundation. I'm using the L'Oreal Fresh Wear foundation. When I usually go to theme parks, I either do a very matte foundation or a very lightweight natural. I'm really feeling a natural look today just because I want my skin to be able to breathe. So we're just gonna go in with this one. I love this one so much. The finish is absolutely amazing. We're just gonna do this all over the face. Don't forget to do the chin. And honestly, if you pick a foundation with a SPF in it, you can totally skip that sunscreen step and save yourself some extra time. I personally don't have a foundation with any sunscreen in it, so that's why we gotta take those extra precautions. Okay, so now that that's done, we are going to go into concealer. I am using probably my new favorite concealer. This is the City Color Full Coverage Flawless Base Concealer. I went to the City Color headquarters recently and they gave me like all the shades of this concealer, and I used this yesterday for some clients. I did a couple of bridesmaids for a wedding, and the coverage is absolutely flawless. It blends out like a dream. Like when I was doing the clients, I was like, oh my gosh, this looks so good on everybody. And it is a very, I want to say it's like a matte finish, but also it's still pretty natural. Like it's very, very weird. Like it's matte, but it's not too matte. I probably want to say it's like a dewy matte, if that makes sense. We're just gonna do under the eyes, and we're doing a very, very light layer. Also, I am the shade Tan 1. This one's probably like my true foundation shade, because you guys know I usually use concealer to highlight. This is like a lighter shade, just by like a smidge if I don't want to go too hard on the highlighting, but if I do want to highlight, I will mix a few colors. Okay, so now that we have the base down, we need to set it. So of course, I'm going in with my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, and we're just going to basically powder the entire face, just because I get very sweaty and oily whenever I go to theme parks, and this powder is just really gonna help my makeup stay on. So of course I'm targeting my T-zone because that's where I get the oiliest. So I'm just setting down a thin layer of powder first on those areas. So the forehead, the nose, and then the smile lines. And then also underneath the eyes, just to set the eyes down. This concealer does crease a little bit, which is totally fine, to be honest, because I set my under eyes anyways, but if you don't set your under eyes, keep that in mind when trying this out. Okay, now we're gonna do down here. We're just gonna do the powder the way I normally do it for a full face, and then we're gonna go in with a little bit more after this base layer. Okay, so now that we got the base layer down, I'm gonna go in with a little bit extra powder on the areas that break the most on me. So that would be the chin, smile lines, and the nose and forehead. I am also going to do a little bit of extra powder right here on the sides of the nose. Just like that. And the reason I do this is because when I go to Disney, I like to wear my sunglasses. And so, of course, when you're wearing sunglasses, y'all know the struggle of foundation just like rubbing off. So I like to give a little bit of extra coverage on there just to combat the foundation rubbing off just a little bit. It doesn't help a whole bunch, but it helps a little. And now we are going to bronze, of course. So I'm going in with my Benefit Hoola bronzer. Warm up the face a little bit. I usually don't do contour anyways, but I feel if I did, I wouldn't contour on days like this, just because you want to look a little bit more natural, a little bit more fresh, not totally cut, you know? So now we're going to go into blush. I've absolutely been loving this City Color matte blush. This is in the shade Natural. It's so beautiful. I can't. I'm gonna take it up to where we did our bronzer a little bit. And I like to go in with the blush a little bit more heavy-handed because during a long day, usually the blush is the first thing to fade off of your face. So, of course, when we're sweating at Disney and all that, we just want to keep it cute and looking alive. So that's why I put a lot on. And after blush, I like to go in with a blush topper. So this is actually a highlight from e.l.f. This is in the shade Apricot Glow. But as you can tell, it's just not that shimmery for a highlight. So I like to use it as a blush topper to make everything look really, really blended. So we're just going to go in with this. Just gives you a very nice, like, luminous look. Very fresh. Okay, so now that the face has baked a little bit, we're just going to dust off the powder. And remember to take that down to your neck. Never forget the neck. And you're just gonna take the excess powder and take it to the parts you have not powdered yet. So the eyelids, I like to go into the temples, a little bit above the lip, and then also the neck. And this is where I go in with some setting spray. So of course I'm using my Morphe Continuous Mist Setting Spray. I absolutely love this stuff. So let's just go in with some. I like to use this before highlight because it makes my highlight look a little bit more pop-in just because we have a damp layer going on. And for highlight today, we are using the Anastasia Beverly Hills So Hollywood highlight. Oh my god, that lid almost fell off. And I'm going to be taking a Morphe M558 brush. We're not going to go too heavy with the highlight today, guys. And then 2 seconds later, I'm like, wham bam, see me from space. Bridge of the nose a little bit. When I'm at Disney, I usually sweat a lot, so that's why I don't highlight my nose too much. Also gonna go above the brow a little bit. And on the lips, the Cupid's bow. So that is that. So now we're gonna go into brows, and I'm just gonna do my usual brow routine. It's the same as my everyday summer beat. So I'm using the Goof Proof Brow Pencil from Benefit in the shade 3. And you guys have seen me fill in my brows like a million times, so I'm just gonna fast forward through this part. Now we are going to carve out underneath the brows. So I'm gonna be using the Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer, as always. And I'm just taking that on a City Color CCB 104 brush. Y'all know I love this brush. And we're just gonna carve this out. And this is the same thing that I always do, so that's why I'm just speeding through this. All right, so now that we have our brows drawn on, we are going to set the hairs in place with the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. And like I said in my summer beat tutorial. This is just really gonna help you lock the hairs in place and especially combat against that sweat you're gonna be experiencing at the theme park you're going to. So we're just gonna set these babies down. And we're basically almost done. I'm just going to pop on a little bit of mascara. This is the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. You guys know I've been using this nonstop because it's always been a favorite of mine. So we're just going to apply a little bit of this. I'm also going to apply some Fenty Gloss Bomb on my lips. I just love this for natural days when I want to have something on my lips but not wear something overly heavy. And basically that is it for my Disneyland tutorial. Now I'm also going to throw in some little tips here and there. So what I like to do is I like to bring some blotting sheets. These are just some random ones from this Japanese dollar store that's near my house, but having blotting sheets, it seriously helps so much. They don't disrupt your makeup as much as like a paper towel. And life hack, if you don't have any blotting sheets, you can go to any bathroom and use a toilet seat cover. It's basically the same thing. I'll also keep a powder compact with a little puff in my purse. So I don't have it with me right now because it's already packed away in my little bag, but I like to take my Catrice Prime and Fine powder. It's such a great powder for mattifying the face, and I just keep a little puff in there and I just snap it closed for whenever I need touch-ups. Something like a powder that's pressed and compact like that is going to be really, really essential, especially if you are spending the entire day at a theme park. Also, if you can, take a mini setting spray with you. I probably will not take the Evian spray, and like all the other setting sprays I have are a little bit bigger, but life hack, if you go to Disneyland and if you have a park hopper pass, or before you go into the park, stop by the Sephora and take the setting spray sample and just to lock your makeup in place before you go into the park. So whenever we go, we usually get park hopper. So whenever we cross back and forth between the parks, you can go to a downtown Disney where the Sephora is and just like spray your face. You can also actually use the powders there, but that's up to you if you want to use the tester makeup. Alright you guys, so that is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I've been wanting to do this video for such a long time, but I really hope you learned something from this video, and if you're trying out any of the tricks, let me know. I'd love to hear about that from you guys. And with that being said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good, and I'll see you guys in my next one.